For every $10 that I earn, I only spend 2 of them. That leaves 8 for me. My name is Steve, and I am a fire seeker pursuing financial independence. My life is all about efficiency. I track everything. This way, I only consume the exact amount of sustenance I need. My life is also about self-sufficiency. It's easy to save on the water bill when Mother Earth provides all you need. You just have to get a bit creative in the winter. And to save on transportation, I ride my second-hand bike, no matter the temperature. And as you can see, I own absolutely nothing. I have 0 possessions. I'm an ultra financial minimalist, self-sufficient, enlightened 16-year-old prodigy who is morally incorruptible and the savior of planet Earth. Okay, do you actually want to see what saving 80% of your income looks like? The first full-time job I landed had a starting salary of $34,000. After tax, this left me with about $2,300 per month to live on. We're not off to a great start here. To make matters worse, my rent at the time was $1,300. I was living in a condo in downtown Mississauga as it was close by to my work. So this left me with about $1,000 to spend on everything else. Suffice to say, I was not saving very much money at this time. I think I was able to save maybe like $200-300 per month, which put my savings rate at about 10%. This was the start of my journey to financial independence, and I would like to give you some context as to why it started here. I'm originally from a small town in northern Ontario. The cost of living in the main city nearby is quite low. So why didn't I begin my journey here? I could have had a much higher savings rate and built my wealth much faster. What I've learned throughout this pursuit is that there are many things in life that are far more important than money. For me, I wanted to break out of the small town I was living in. I wanted to see and experience new things. This came with a monetary cost, a higher cost of living, but I received something in return for that cost. I received a huge amount of personal growth. I can confidently say that the person sitting in front of you today is not the person who I was years ago, and I honestly don't think I would have this career if I stayed in my hometown. And so I decided to double down on personal growth and make another move to put myself in an even higher cost of living area, Toronto. At this stage, I had a new job and was making $47,000. After tax, this left me with about $3,100 per month. But once again, rent ate massively into this. My first apartment cost $1,500 per month, so after that, I had about $1,500 left to budget. Incredibly, I was actually very psyched at this stage of my life because I was able to double my savings rate from 10 to 20%. When I moved to Toronto, I had nearly $0 in my bank account, but now I was able to start stacking $500 or $600 per month, and I felt like the richest man alive. It was at this time that I developed a deep sense of what was actually valuable to me, and this instilled a natural frugality in my actions. I cooked all of my meals at home and became very good at creating cost-efficient but delicious and nutritious recipes. I actually did bike for my transportation as long as the weather allowed. And I basically had no friends in the city since I was new, so I didn't really spend money on going out with people or anything like that. But here's the thing I want to stress. When it comes to saving your money, I think there is a line, and I notice a lot of people in the financial independence community crossing this line. And that line is recognizing when you're cutting yourself off too much, when you're putting too much of your happiness into into the future. I see so many people trying so hard to save so much money today, but they render themselves absolutely miserable in the present moment. I did not do this. I avoided this by allowing myself to spend money on things that I thought were very worth it. One of my big splurges at the time was buying a yoga membership. Yoga studios are notoriously expensive. I think I was paying something like $100 per month, but it was well worth it to me. One thing I will absolutely never skimp on is my health. What's the point of saving all this money if you won't be around to enjoy it? So I think it's very important to find your happiness threshold. What is all the excess you can cut out in your life, but still leave you with the things that are very important to you, that make you very happy? Personally, for me, removing excess from my life actually tends to bring me more happiness because I can devote all my time and attention to what I think is most important. But everyone will be different in this regard. So once I established this mode of living, this floor of my expenditure, it was now time to try and raise the ceiling of my income. Over the next few years, I would get promotions and raises at my job to bring my income to around $70,000 plus an RRSP matching program. On top of this, my girlfriend moved in with me and this cut rent and other expenses in half. Accounting for all of this, I was able to make a huge jump in my savings rate, up to 70%. This was a very important time for me because I was able to go from saving like $500-600 per month to saving much more than that. As I was investing all of these savings, my wealth really began to snowball, and what was starting with an amount of nearly $0 became about $90,000 over the course of just 3 years. I was 25 years old at this time, and this was kind of like a holy moment for me because I realized how much control we actually have over our own destinies. When I was 22 and making $34,000, I set an ambitious goal of retiring by 35. By the time I was 25, I began to appreciate that this was actually something that I could really make happen. So I began to continue to push very hard on my income ceiling. With my $90,000 as insurance, I pulled the ripcord and quit my job, jumping into the wild west of content creation. At the time, I had less than 5,000 subscribers and was making something like $5 per day on YouTube. But as they say, fortune favors the bold. About 2 months after I quit my job, my channel just kind of happened to take off. And now today, the latest chapter of my journey, I earned something like $180,000 last year, and this allowed me to save about 80% of my income. I want to take a moment here to thank you, all my viewers, from the bottom of my heart. I am still absolutely amazed by the fact that so many of you actually like what I create, and I am just completely overwhelmed by your support. I have scratched, I have clawed, I have put 80-hour work weeks, I have put blood, sweat, and tears into trying to make this dream happen. But not once have I ever jeopardized my own happiness along the way to the extent that it broke me. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Financial independence is not about money. It's about everything else. I want to adventure, experience more than what I know. I want to connect with nature and try and understand my place in the world. I want a strong, healthy body and mind. And sometimes I just want to show the O'Driscoll boys who's boss. I spent money on those things when I was making $34,000, just like I spend money on them today. I defined what's important to me. My no ifs, ands, or buts. My integrals. That's step one. That's the floor. That's my foundation. Then I reached up until my fingers met something, until I was stopped. Then I pushed.